Welcome back to the Green Door Pub, my garage bar built for drinks, laughs, and adventures. Today we're on one of those adventures, stepping outside the four walls of the Green Door Pub for another episode of what I call Crafted Connections, where we talk to the people in beer, about beer, and listen to their stories. Today we're at Foothills Brewing in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, helping them celebrate their 20th anniversary. They started in 2004 in a small brew pub on 4th Street in Winston-Salem, and now to the point where they're here 20 years later in a full production brewery. I'm hoping to get to talk to some of their people, listen to their stories, and talk about their connections with the community. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's explore another crafted connection. Hey, welcome back to the Green Door Pub. Scott, I'm here with my buddy Justin Butler. Justin and I work together in the craft beer industry here in the Triad. He now works for Foothills. Thought I'd take an opportunity to talk with him about what Foothills has got going on and what it means to him about the 20th anniversary. So Justin, tell us about what you're doing for Foothills now. I know you've been with a couple of different breweries in different capacities from a brewing aspect, from selling. So what are you doing at Foothills now?
So I am Foothills' specialty beverage manager. So basically anything that's not beer related. I'm kind of out of the beer side of things. I make all of our THC beverages. I make all of our cold brew coffee, as well as our THC infused cold brew coffee.
So I know you previously in your career, you were here with Foothills as a brewer. Now you're back. You've been back almost about a year now, right? So
right out of a year.
20th anniversary, Foothills, OG in Winston-Salem, started on 4th Street as a brew pub. What does it mean for you to be back here?
I'm back home. I've worked I worked for Foothills for about 4 years as a third shift brewer, and then whenever my wife got pregnant with our first child, I had to leave because of childcare issues, and I was gone for about 6 or 7 years. And when I got the call with the job offer, I sat in my car, I cried a lot. Called my wife, told her, she cried a lot. Our first time coming back through these doors, the second that she opened the cold room at the back, she just immediately sobbed and said, we're back home. My daughter was raised on the bar top in here. They've taken amazing care of us, and I'm incredibly proud of where I'm at and what I do. It's awesome.
Welcome home.
Appreciate you, brother.
Great seeing you, buddy.
Likewise.
All right, welcome back to Scott with the Green Door Pub. I'm here with my buddy and connection, Josh Burr. Josh and I have known each other for what?
8 years.
8 years now.
Yeah.
Josh used to work with another local brewery. Been with Foothills now for what you say, 6 years?
6 years in May. Yep.
Right. So Josh, this is like dream job, would you think, with Foothills?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we're celebrating Foothills' 20th anniversary today. As I said, they started on 4th Street as a brew pub. What you're seeing behind Josh and I is their production facility. So obviously things have gone really well. Josh, I just wanted to ask you, what does it mean for you from a being in the craft beer world to be part of Foothills family?
So, I started in craft beer 2 days after I turned 21. My first intro into craft beer was at Western Carolina. I got a chance to do my senior capstone with Innovation Brewing in Silva. And when I turned 21, one of the first beers they gave me was People's Porter. And that was the first craft beer I ever fell in love with, was People's Porter. So this is, for me specifically, it's full circle. I got a chance to work for the brewery that kind of inspired me to love craft beer. And working with Jamie and Sarah and TL and Meredith and Matt and Distell's team has kind of been sort of a dream, but unintentional at its best. So it's been a good time.
So, what do you think? We're reflecting on 20 years in the community. What do you think Foothills means to the craft beer industry in North Carolina and the community in Winston-Salem?
Yeah. So for me, I think Foothills is very traditional, and I think they put their foot, and we put our foot down hard when it comes to traditional recipes and not doing too much, but doing just enough. And I think for me, working for Foothills is kind of sort of almost backwards of how I started. I worked with breweries that did a ton of different recipes, monthly and weekly, and working for a brewery that really like hyper focuses on single recipes and making those single recipes better has kind of inspired me as a sales rep to be able to like learn how to be a better sales rep, because I'm always constantly trying to sell the same beer that I truly think is getting better and better. And it's a totally different marketing strategy than I feel like a lot of breweries in the craft beer age do. And I don't know, I always feel like I'm learning more, even though it doesn't seem like I should, which is kind of cool. So,
Well, cheers to 20 years.
cheers to 20 years.
Hey, so this is like up and close. This is my buddy Nick. Nick and I've known each other for 7 years. You know, we met really early when he was working for another brewery. Just found out Nick's back with Foothills. So that's awesome. I wanted to take a quick video with him, talk to him. So Nick, tell me real quick. And this sound's gonna be bad, but it's okay. So what does it mean to you to be back with Foothills, with a brewery representing them in the Triangle?
Man, Foothills is like one of the few breweries I would have came back into craft beer to work for. I love North Carolina craft beer, but there's only a handful of breweries that I would really confident in and like truly love their beer. And 20 years, man, like privately owned, that's awesome. It is awesome. Yeah, it's not a lot of companies that I would want to sell beer for. So I'm happy to be here.
I'm so glad to see you.
Happy to see you here too.
This is what we're talking about. The connections in craft beer. Once you know somebody, you know
Comes out of nowhere, right?
You know.
I didn't expect to see you here.
Yeah, you know them for life. So cheers.
Yeah, cheers, brother. Love you.
Love you, man. Yeah, here we go. All right, welcome back to the Green Door Pub. I'm here with my friend Lisa. Lisa and I have known each other for a number of years. One of my favorite persons in craft beer in North Carolina. Lisa is the executive director of the Nincy Brewers Guild.
Yep.
She's been there since 2015, been the executive director since
2022.
2022. So again, one of my favorite connections I made in my 7 years in craft beer. Lisa's here helping celebrate the 20th anniversary of Foothills. Cheers.
Cheers.
So tell me something. What does somebody like Foothills mean to the craft beer world in North Carolina?
Foothills has been around over the past 20 years, has seen so much evolvement, has seen this craft beer industry evolve so far in 20 years. They were one of the originals. They're one of our OGs. And honestly, they've been one of our farm breweries over the years.
They have, indeed.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, they're one of the breweries in North Carolina that hasn't necessarily chased the trends, right?
They've always been ahead of the trends. They've
Right.
always been one of our entrepreneurial leaders in craft beer.
And Jamie has been instrumental within NC Craft Beer,
Oh goodness.
right? I mean, he's been
He's
how many
multi-term president
Right.
of the NC Craft Brewers Guild and really one of the leaders in North Carolina's craft beer industry.
Yeah, and I hope to get a chance to sit down with Jamie and talk to him. So I'm asking people this question, Lisa. So Lisa, you're in a great position to talk about what's going on with craft beer in general across the U.S., specifically in North Carolina.
Right now.
That they're under kind of siege, so to speak, from alternative beverage, people not drinking as much. What do you think needs to happen for these craft breweries
Yeah.
to continue to succeed over the next so many years, to the point where craft beer is what it was?
You know, we're in one of the more challenging epochs of our history right now, and I think that moving forward, it's critical that our communities continue to recognize the important role that our craft breweries play as a third space, as a gathering space in their communities. It's, you know, one of the very few places that kids and grandparents and dogs can all come together, the full community as it is,
agree.
be welcomed
Yeah.
and enjoy that time together without any other constraints put on it.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. I think, breweries, we talk about on this channel about it's beyond what's in the glass. It's about the people behind it.
This matters, but also the space and the
Community and
community and the environment that it creates.
exactly. And that's one of the things we hope to bring so you guys can see that it's about more than this. It's about the people behind it.
Yes.
People like Lisa working in it. Lisa doesn't work for a brewery. She works
I work
on
for all the breweries.
she works on their behalf.
They're
right?
all my boss.
From a North Carolina perspective. So, please get out, make sure that you're visiting your local breweries.
Yes.
That you're trying something new. Just because you've been there before, maybe go try it again, because they're definitely in a period where they're going to need your help. And
That's right.
and they're a great place to go. So
They are a great place to go. And over the next few years, it's challenging to be a craft brewer right now. It's time to come out and support your local brewery.
yeah, it's all about community.
That's right.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Cheers. Thanks to my production assistant, James, for making this happen.